All right, good morning, everyone. Here with your weekly weather outlook, including your Mother's Day weekend forecast. I'm going to wait just a little bit. We've had some technical difficulties with this the past two times, going smooth for the first 2 months. So I don't know what's been going on the past 2 weeks, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we think we got it figured out. Um, so I'm just going to wait a little bit for some more people to join. I have this posted on WMBB's main page, and then I have it posted on my page. So on either, you can comment questions throughout. We're just going to dive into wildfire season, your Mother's Day weekend forecast, and then what the trend is for next week. So I'm just going to make sure that we are good to go. It looks like... Okay, it looks like we're okay. All right, this is the fire weather outlook for today, and this is put out by NOAA. And as you can see, we are under that elevated risk for inland communities, northeastern communities only. So you may be wondering why we're still under that risk. We don't have a fire weather warning up like we did earlier this week. That was for incredibly low humidity and breezy conditions. Those are the two things you do not want to see. That's why California typically has the worst wildfire season in the US, because of course everyone always talks about how great Southern California always feels and that low humidity. And it does, it feels great, but it's really, really favorable for wildfire development. So as you see humidity increase, you're increasing the water vapor content in the atmosphere. You are adding moisture. That's going to become a target for wildfires trying to develop. That's not going to be favorable for wildfire development. And so we also do not want to see those breezy conditions. And typically, of course, there's different reasons you can see those winds gusting, but lately it's been these fronts, and we actually had a front earlier this week. That's why it came through during the morning and then helped to spark those wildfires, helped at least set up the right environment for wildfires to spark as we headed through the early evening, and really, really, really heartbreaking out of the Santa Rosa area. But we have another cold front on the way for tonight, and it's going to be breezy out ahead of this, and it's going to be breezy tomorrow morning. Now, let's start with good news. Today we have south winds returning. What south winds do in our area, because that's feeding in moisture out from over the Gulf, and it's feeding it inland, that's going to pump in moisture across our area, where moisture means higher humidity, and we just talked about how high humidity is what you want when you're trying to battle those wildfires or conditions that would be conducive for wildfire development. You want high humidity. That's going to be the case for today. Now, just because you have high humidity doesn't mean your winds are calm always though, and we do have breezy conditions with those winds. And I'm just going to double check the live stream one time. Okay, I think we're good for today, hopefully. All right, so we are dry today, and as we head through overnight, we're going to see some scattered showers, and then that's even going to come through, and we're still going to see some isolated shower activity during the early morning hours for Saturday. That is associated with this boundary. It'll pass west to east, so you will clear out west to east as well. So heading into the first half of the weekend, we get some much needed rainfall, mostly during the time where a lot of people are sleeping. And then as we walk you through Mother's Day, this low forms over the Gulf, tropical moisture, mainly targeting the peninsula. And they need the rain too. The entire Sunshine State, for the most part, is under drought. So they could certainly use the rain. And unfortunately, it falls on Mother's Day. I know because of the pandemic, a lot of people... Right, you can't really do a whole lot right now anyways, but yeah, that's kind of crummy weather for anything that people had planned in the peninsula. But they're going to see anywhere from more northern portions of the peninsula, we'll see anywhere from half of an inch of rain, less than an inch, and then you could even see upwards of 3 to 4 inches for the peninsula. I say all this because while the forecast is mostly dry for Mother's Day, as the system progresses off to the east, we could see a couple of those showers scraping by our just southeastern communities, and that's going to be isolated shower activity for mainly Franklin County, Gulf County, if that verifies. Most people will not see the rain. Most people will wake up on Saturday and not see rain all day because they took it during the very early morning hours on Saturday. Rainfall totals across the region, as that tropical moisture does not target our area. We could really use the rain still. It targets southern Florida, areas like Fort Myers, Cape Coral. Look at Miami getting out some really, really much needed rainfall. As typical, we usually see northwest Florida and then just the southernmost portion of the peninsula experience the worst wildfire conditions in our state. Right now there's over 50 active wildfires across the Sunshine State, and obviously rain brings relief, high humidity brings relief, calm winds bring relief. So for today we have high humidity, and tonight we get some rain. We're not going to see a lot. We're not going to see what the peninsula will see. Overnight with the front that comes through, we'll see about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rain. Isolated spots will see 1/2 of an inch of rain. Let's talk about any severe threat. This is one of those really, really low instability environments as this passes through. So typically, look at the instability in Louisiana today. That's where you see that slight risk, that level 2 out of level 5 that the Storm Prediction Center will put out. That's where you're going to find the best chance for severe weather today in forms of damaging wind, quarter-size hail, etc. The Louisiana portion, Louisiana, more South Louisiana, and then southern Mississippi. Those are the pockets where you see the worst of it. Now, as we head through the overnight hours, look at instability as it heads toward our area. So if you see the greens and the yellows on this Cape map, which is convective available potential energy, that's where you're starting to see, all right, the system has something to work with, and we can actually see those air parcels rising, and maybe rapidly rising, and maybe we can actually see a really, really organized severe thunderstorm develop. And as that happens, that's where those ingredients all come together. And say you have really high wind shear, well, now you're talking about maybe we could get some rotation. That's where you're talking about active weather. What we're seeing, this is Saturday, this is tonight at midnight. Instability is going to be very, very weak. So we are not worried about severe weather on the very, very west end of the panhandle. We could potentially see some very strong winds, but otherwise you're going to perhaps see some lightning, perhaps hear some rumbles of thunder. For most people, you'll probably sleep right through it. So this boundary comes through, we get the rain, and that continues on into Mother's Day. And this is the instability. I also want to show you this for southern Florida. If you have friends or family down there, they could be experiencing a near washout for Mother's Day. Our conditions are beautiful, and we'll actually experience rather low humidity for this time of year because of the cold front we take on tonight. And I also want to show you how instability is actually fairly unimpressive for them as well. So they're not necessarily dealing with severe weather. In fact, they're just going to be under that general risk for non-severe storms. So that's always what you want, right? Just much needed rainfall without the severe activity. So kind of a no news is good news, as that tropical moisture mainly targets them, and we continue to stay rather favorable for the weekend. And I'll show you that Mother's Day forecast for today. Beautiful, dry. We're actually going to see temperatures similar to tomorrow. Afternoon highs are going to be running fairly seasonal in the mid to upper 70s. Tomorrow, the mid 70s, and those showers, that's just during the morning from that front. Overnight, we fall back down into the 50s, and the progress we've made with our humidity today and the moisture in the atmosphere that's favorable for wildfire seasons, we can battle that, and we can create an environment today that's a little bit of a relief for those firefighters. We're actually going to kind of reverse that, because tomorrow we welcome back those north winds, which will be low humidity, and breezy conditions today still aren't in our favor. So that's why that elevated fire risk is for our inland communities today. Now, as we walk through Sunday, Mother's Day, you're going to see the low 80s, and we actually have 90 in the forecast late next week because we're going to take on a big warm up. That warming trend will keep us rather dry as well. So for Mother's Day, I put that 20% on there. When we say there's going to be a 30% or a 40% or a 20% chance at rain, we're not talking about how confident we are that it will rain. We're saying it's going to rain. It's just going to be for 20% of the area. And so that 20% is going to be potentially for those areas like Gulf County, Franklin County. That's what I was showing with that tropical moisture that could scrape on by. Most areas will stay dry. So when we see a rain chance on a 7-day, we're talking about it's going to rain. It's just not everyone will see it. So hopefully that helps. All right, I'm going to check on questions. And yeah. Okay, I got one question that's not really weather related, but I'll answer it because I actually get this question a lot. This is more television related. What do we wear on our legs? If you ever see pictures that we have, it's our microphone and it's our IFB. So we wear those both. It's just an easy place to put them. And so our microphone, obviously, we're mic'd so that you can hear us. And then we have to wear an IFB. So that goes all the way into our ear. And that's how the director, the producer can talk to us from in the master control room, because it's just us in the studio here. There's the anchors, there's the meteorologists, there's the production assistant, and then in the control room, they're giving us time cues. So there's a lot of things that can change during the actual show, especially in morning news. So that's just how we hear, how long we have left in commercial, things like that. So hopefully that helps. I get that question a lot. But yeah. All right. Well, I'm not seeing a lot of other questions. I will go back. And I hope for all the moms out there, you guys, I hope you feel celebrated this weekend. You guys are incredible, and you deserve everything and more for Mother's Day. You guys are rock stars. I don't know how you do it. And I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day, and I hope you have a great weekend. There's not really a whole lot to worry about weather-wise. Just please, please, please pay attention to those fire weather outlooks. Do not burn anything, especially this weekend, especially inland today. And that means even if we're under a fire weather warning again, that means not even having a bonfire. Even something like throwing a cigarette butt out the window can spark a wildfire. Things like lawnmowers can spark wildfires. So just take those things into consideration. We are in wildfire season, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. All right.